live. Waiting for...
Speak for yourself. I'm barely alive.
All right, there I see the stream on Twitch.
You at least have positive hit points.
Yes.
Yes.
Or non-negative hit points.
Not unlike Cameron's character at the end of our next to last session of Call of Cthulhu.
Spoilers.
Oops.
Spoilers. Hey, you survived. I survived.
Yay! All right.
Yay! Okay.
Max says he thinks he can hear everyone. Marcus says hi.
Definitely could. Yeah, I could see it, and then I was starting to hear ourselves talk.
Okay, good.
In reverse.
Talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
No one wants that.
No. But the thing is, it's fine if you talk to yourself. It's when you answer yourself that's the issue.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I gotten through a lot of coding talking to myself in a rubber ducky.
Right. Okay.
Who's leading the show?
Oh my God, it's me. Okay.
Oh my God, that's me. All right. Yay! We have SEMA clearance. All right.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
Diablo Season 28. 28, good Lord, is live, and open beta for Diablo 4 is on the way.
We have AIE WoW raid group updates.
Mount up in SOTOR, and we hear there's ice cream?
The Federation is boldly going towards Tier 5.
And we have working class nerd himself, Marcus, here to talk about Destiny 2.
All that and more coming up now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 399. Wait, that's not right. 399?
Yup.
Holy crud. All right, a podcast celebrating you, the Alea Octa S gaming community. The Die Has Been Podcast. And from all of us, we want to apologize for the show 2 weeks ago. We had technical difficulty aggro and had to cancel after hitting our head against the wall for at least 20 minutes. And it was Super Bowl Sunday and nobody was paying attention anyway. That's okay. But we are back. And this is Makala. To my left is Ted Semi.
I'm here. I no longer have technical difficulties because I now have all my virtual cables set to 48,000 output as opposed to some of them set to 44,100, which will cause trouble. As we found out this afternoon when we pre-tested everything. Yeah. We pre-tested it and it was doing it again. I'm like...
It's staticky. It's staticky.
Yes, but we fixed it all. So we're good. 5 by 5.
And it didn't even need a spreadsheet for it.
Nope.
All right. Into our right and a few states over is Mewcow.
Greetings, Guardians.
Awesome. And we're joined by our very special guest, Marcus, who is here to talk to us about AIE and Destiny 2. Welcome, my friend.
Hello. How are you guys?
Good.
I was one away from being here for 400.
I know. Had we not had the technical difficulties, it actually would have been you.
But can we just say that technical difficulties are the most frustrating thing on the planet? Yeah. I don't care. You could hit your hand with a hammer, and that is less frustrating to me than audio not working.
And you're a carpenter, so you dealt with both.
Yeah, but you've done it to yourself. When you hit your hand, you did it to yourself. You know why that happened.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or when something automatically switches one of the cables. Like,
right.
It's supposed to be on AA, but it's AB now, and you have no idea where to click that. Yeah, frustrating.
Yeah. So no. And I was going through screenshots because I have screenshots of all my settings.
Yes.
Everything matched. The only thing I could find after like an hour of research was you've got some input or output that's not set the same as everything else. And yeah, I went device by device, but oh, there it is. Son of a... Yeah.
So I've got to say, I'm not that bothered by technical difficulties, mostly because I just say, Tat.
And usually when I show up, it goes away without having to do anything,
away. Yeah,
which frustrates her.
Absolutely. Though I was having issues. We were doing interviews at work all last week, and I was having issues on like half the days. But we got that figured out. All right. Well, we're gonna dig into all the fun stuff in a few, but I want to know what everyone's been doing. And Marcus, it's been the longest since we've talked to you. So besides hitting your hand with a hammer, what have you been up to, my friend?
So, just gaming a lot. A year ago or so. Yeah, a year ago, Duris quietly handed me over the reins to the clan in Destiny 2.
Mhm.
So as we say to the new officers, congratulations.
Yup.
So that has been, it's really hard to be able to invest your time into multiple games.
Yes.
The people that can do that, I give them the most credit ever. But we've had a lot of fun. The clan has grown immensely. We have an official clan night that's been going probably 10 months now on Tuesday nights. It just seems to be the only night that works for everybody, but it's grown. We're getting a huge expansion Tuesday. We're going to talk about that more. But I did play Star Wars Legion. It's a tabletop war kind of simulator game. I would say it's like Warhammer 40K.
Like Warhammer, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it was really cool to be able to like control an ATST, and like Darth Maul is on the other side. And one of Darth Maul's moves, he is super weak until he takes 5 damage. As soon as he takes 5 damage, he like goes to Crazy Town and he just starts annihilating everything on the field.
Right.
But it's a really cool thing, and I didn't realize it. Those tabletop games, you have to paint the figures. So you buy these packages of figures, but then you have to paint them before you can use them.
Yeah. It's a point of pride to make sure that it looks good.
Right. So
Which
it was a lot
of Darth Maul was it?
Phantom Menace, Darth Maul.
Okay.
Interesting.
And
I like the Rebels Darth Maul. Yeah, Darth Maul's a great character.
with the metal legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Believe it or not, my favorite Darth Maul
Oh.
is the one from Solo.
Yeah.
In the end, when he just looks like he's older and his face is like chiseled.
Yep.
He's just standing in front of that hollow projector. I kind of wish we got a Solo too, just so that we could have gone into that.
They're
story.
working on it. There's rumors they're working on it.
That's what was a lot.
Yeah. But other than that, just gaming. Happy to be here. I'm really happy to see all three of you.
Good to see you.
Yay.
All right. So besides wrestling preschoolers so they can get ready for bed out of the bath, what have you been up to, my friend? And that's you, not Cam, not Ted.
I say it would have to be. So
Okay.
just the usual stuff. We did go to Brickfest. Was in town. So that was interesting. It wasn't the big one. Like they have the big ones where they have like with the giant ball contraption,
Right.
which is kind of cool. It's like it's basically a series of hopper modules that are slowly moving balls all the way around the giant area, which is like, I think it's like a city block at this point, as big as it is. And every year they come up with new versions of the hoppers. Well, that's the version that wasn't here, unfortunately. That would have been cool to see, but it was kind of neat just to see all the brick stuff. And then, yesterday we went to our favorite bricks and minifig store and had a better time because we got to just the neat thing about bricks and minifigs. It's not an official Lego store; it's just a Lego reseller.
Yeah, we have one here.
And they just have these giant boxes, several tables wide of just random Lego pieces, and you can just basically just go through there and dig through, and they give you a bag and say whatever you can fit into this bag is X amount of money. So you grab your bag and you just go to town.
Nice.
And they had a 50% off sale this weekend, so we were digging around trying to get some interesting stuff.
Very cool.
Yep. Let's see. Anything else? It's been hot and cold and hot and cold and hot and cold outside. Yeah. Yep. So we had the ice storm, and then it was in the 80s. It actually got up to 90s in Austin, which was crazy.
Oh,
that's
goodness.
nuts.
Yeah, it's just obscene. And then it dropped down to 30s 2 days ago, and now it's 85 outside. So it's very confused here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and as a result, pollen is horrible. So,
I was gonna say, I'm sure it's.
You guys anyway.
I'm sure
You
the
live by
trees are
cedar
like
trees.
pollen. Oh, our bad. Pollen. Oh, our
Pollen.
bad.
The pollen. Yeah.
well, and that's the funny thing about the trees here. We have both kinds of trees. We have trees that say, "Oh, it's warm, time to pollinate," and then we have trees that say, "Oh, it's cold, time to pollinate." So it's pollen, 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 pollen. And it's just so yeah. Everyone pretty much has been miserable in Austin area because of all the trees. We Austin has a significant amount of trees here and lots of cedar.
Yeah.
When I used to go into the office when that was a thing, the office was surrounded by a sea of cedar. So every year about this time, you could sit on top of the parking garage and you would just see these orange clouds moving from place to place. And it's just like, oh, I can just feel my sinuses clogging up. But
Yeah.
game wise, let's see. Final Fantasy's on a bit of maintenance. Peeking into the island when I remember. Luckily, my animals haven't abandoned me yet. But
Always good.
Well, they won't.
the funny thing is yeah, they won't. But it's the funny thing is if you have plenty of food, but your stores, like like the little robot stores, fill up, they'll stop feeding them for some reason.
Yeah.
So, so that's interesting. But yeah, and then in WoW, I am doing a bit of heroic raiding, and we've managed to get 4 of 8 down on the current raid in heroic. So yeah, it's been. Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. It's because it's pretty hard stuff this time around. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised the Mythic took as long as it did because yeah, it's it's fun though, and my time raiding in Final Fantasy 14 made WoW a lot easier actually. It's kind of like I learned all this stuff, like it's ingrained in my head now. Oh yeah, just dodge that, you go here, do that, no big deal. And then been playing a bit of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Oh, how is it? How is it?
It's a lot of fun. It's if you've ever wanted to play Borderlands, if you ever wanted to play D&D with Borderlands characters, that's literally what this is.
Wow.
Awesome.
It even like starts out and it's Tiny Tina with dice and she's got a big old board with all her figurines and she's like, oh, it's a boss battle. Hold on 1 second. And she pulls out this big old figurine. Boom. it's Tiny Tina. If you've ever played the Borderlands game, she's kind of a little crazy but kind of fun at the same time. Voiced by a very good voice actress. I can't remember her name though. It always disappears. But yeah, she's real talented at that. And and the bad guy is I can't remember his name, but he's Batman, the Lego Batman, or Job from Arrested Development.
Ashley Birch.
Yeah, Ashley Birch. That's the one.
How do you know that? Like, how do you have it on the tip of your tongue like that?
Google.
Google.
Yeah,
I have multiple monitors for just this reason.
I was gonna say I know my husband. He looked it up.
Yes,
but I also knew who it was. I just couldn't.
Yeah, you just had to get the name.
It's right there. It's like but yeah, the great voice actor Wanda Sykes is another of the voices.
Awesome.
She's funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the thing, and they just let her go. She plays a bloodthirsty robot that's playing D&D. And she's loot obsessed as well. So it's either stab a thing or get loot.
No, I have played with that player.
And Will Arnett is the villain. Will Arnett.
There you go.
Yes, Will Arnett. Yep. He's the big bad. So you've got this cast of characters sitting around you playing essentially D&D, but when you are imagining you're playing essentially the Borderlands version of it. So it's instead of crossbows, it looks like a crossbow, but it's essentially a gun. But you get to cast magic missile, and then so every once in a while you'll hear, "I cast magic missile." Yeah, I cast magic missile. Your character says as they zap something. It's just kind of funny. So it's like if you're really into D&D, I think you would get a kick out of this version of Borderlands. It is so fun, and it's got the full stat sheets, and set this and what was it? There's you can set your character up as the buffoon essentially, and it's like, oh, you big stupid child, here you have you have tons of strength, but you have essentially no intellect. So
it's funny.
Yeah. And there was one that's like cursed by the DMs, like, oh, oops, you weren't supposed to get this character. It's got way too good of stats. Here, let me give you a hit to dex. So it's got like negative dex, but everything else is super high. So just weird little jokes like that. But yeah, it's a fun little game. And I think it's on sale right now. Cool. If I'm not mistaken. I think it's like 50% off. But yeah, that's been most of my gaming.
Awesome. So, Ted, what about you? What have you been up to?
What I have been up to is, well, gaming with you in our Call of Cthulhu game now. So I'll let you go into the whole detail when it comes to that. But my character did survive, barely.
You did.
The first adventure he was not the virgin sacrifice, as the DM joked. Or as the storyteller joked. Yeah, he decided to take an alien technology and go, I'm smart enough to figure this out. And realized the end was pointing the wrong direction and zapped himself for exactly how many hit points he had and dropped to the floor.
Thank goodness one of the other characters is a medical student.
Yeah. So had a lot of fun playing that. I have hit all 4 renown caps in Dragonflight. So I've got all the story. I've squeezed all the story I can out of that. Got all the otter mounts from the Tuskar. Been having a lot of fun. Now, essentially, the only progression that I have, because I'm way over geared for what even LFR drops as far as gear is concerned. So the only upgrades I have are crafted gear. So I've got to go look and see, who can make what and get some crafted pieces. I made myself a 405 necklace with 3 sockets and a 405 ring. So I've got those maxed out for now. So just waiting for the next story beat really on that. And same thing with Final Fantasy XIV. I completely forgot they added a delivery quest, Mew, for 14 with the most recent patch. So I had to go back to the Feylands and do the Tree Man deliveries, but that took like 3 weeks, I think, total, and you're done with it. So, and all my professions are max, so there's no point in doing it unless you want the currency to buy something that they have. But I had most of the stuff. So,
well, you can turn yourself into a partial Leaf Man or ride a Leaf Man.
Yep, I have the Leaf Man mount now, and it's
yeah.
It literally, it looks like one of those Pac-Man ghosts, but with leaves, and it's green.
Yep.
And when you move along the ground, no, it just goes. It's the weirdest thing. And then in ESO, I've completed 2 of the 3 Cadwell Silver quests, which is go back and start at the beginning, pick a faction, and go through that faction storyline to the end. And then you go back, pick another faction, do that. So I've done that for Aldari Dominion and whoever the starting is for Bretons. I forget the faction, but I've got the third one.
Been too long.
Yeah, I know. So I'm working on that, having fun. I've got almost all my professions maxed on that one. And then just because Max and Corley were talking about it so much, I went back and picked up No Man's Sky and to see if I could get further. No Man's Sky. And with a lot of the improvements to the user interface, to pretty much everything, I've actually managed to get 2 bases built, found the second ship, done some trading, got the faster than light or the warp drive set up, doing a lot of exploring now. I think I just unlocked solar panels on the base so I can power the base without the fuel running out, so that's good. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun in No Man's Sky. It took some getting used to, and once I got over that, oh crap, I'm running out of stuff. The solution, like if your suit's starting to run out of stuff and just needs to recharge, go underground. Doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to run all the way back to your base or all the way back to your ship. Just dig a tunnel, go underground, problem solved. So,
Great.
Yeah. But that's mainly what I have been up to. What have you been up to in Dice Land?
Lots of dice. Okay, so as Ted alluded to, our Call of Cthulhu campaign, we finished the second chapter of A Time to Harvest. successfully. Reminder: our keeper once killed 3/4 of the party in the last scene of a module. So we have a history because this game is not easy. So yeah, we basically, and our cat has joined the chat. Basically, Miskatonic University has almost been destroyed by what we now know are the Migos that had taken over some of the students, one of the professors. Night of homecoming, basically there was mass chaos. A lot of the students were being affected by probably something that was put in the punch. As a distraction, we knew that they were planning on burning down the library and also getting an element from one of the professors. We could only get to one place, which was the library, because please, for God's sake, save the precious books. We were able to defeat the Migos there. But as Ted alluded to, he shot himself with some alien technology. Our favorite handyman was almost knocked out. We proceeded literally be throwing people off, ledges to get them away. I did not steal the Necronomicon, which is what they were after. Literally, the Necronomicon was right there. It was floating. It was right there. I'm like, I want to steal this because I'm the occultic student, but I didn't. I was very good because I knew there'd be more trouble than worth it had I done what I wanted to. But we did succeed. Two of us ended up in the hospital. Then we became suspects in a murder investigation. Half of the school was killed. Why are we investigating us?
Yeah.
Which of course the plot device. But we did get saved by a lawyer who then said, hey, this very, very powerful man who's dealt with these things before wants to have a talk with you.
Oh, by the way, he knows about your expedition.
Exactly.
Where the other party was killed.
Yep. So now we have a mysterious rich benefactor, and we're going to find out exactly what we're doing next session. So that happened there. But my big news is, guess what I did today, guys?
Cook something.
No.
You went out for ice cream.
I wish.
Was it Bacon Day?
It was not Bacon Day.
Not
wait.
I know what it was, so I won't spoil it.
Bacon Day happens twice a year because I do not eat red meat due to health reasons. But I do like bacon. So bacon happens twice a year. It happens only at one particular restaurant called Matt's Big Breakfast, which is famous. They have the most beautiful, thick-cut bacon you've ever had. They import it from Iowa. So my theory is if I'm going to eat bacon, it's going to be the best bacon in the world. It happens the Sunday of Phoenix Comic-Con, and it happens usually the day before, the day of, or the day after our Yule party.
Yep.
Wow.
So
sometimes it happens right before Phoenix Comic Con.
Yeah. So it happens around Phoenix Comic Con. So like Mia was here for one bacon day, and
I have witnessed it.
Got to enjoy the beauty of the bacon. But no, in Star Wars, I don't know how many parsecs we did in people, but we did the Kessel Run today.
Oh,
it
so
took
you did
4
do it.
hours. It was. I have never been. I have been more stressed during a game, but I was really stressed.
Which is funny because aren't you like maxed out as a pilot? Like you're the
I am
best
maxed
pilot
out.
possible.
I have 6 agility. I have 6 in piloting. I have lots of stuff, lots of tricks. I was able to use lots of those tricks to take care of what was following us. But it's still the Kessel Run. It doesn't matter how good of a pilot you are. It's hard. Yeah. It's real hard. It was rough, but in different parts of the mall, different parts, of the nebula, all the stuff started popping out, including because my keeper is also, or my DM is also my keeper. A Lovecraftian monster popped out, and then our ship got attacked by these void creatures. So it was really stressful. An Imperial Corvette popped up in the middle. Luckily, the creature attacked the Imperial Corvette, but I don't know what's going to happen if that thing catches up with us. But we did get out. Literally, they were keeping the ship together with bubblegum and a goo gun. It was rough, but we did it. However, this is also the same game where RNG hates me. It hates me. It hates me. Because depending on how, because a lot of our characters are force sensitive. So depending on how you've used if you've used the force that session, if it's important or not, what have you, you have to roll at the end of the game. Whoever rolls the highest on a D100 gets double points either way, and then you roll a D10. So the base is always like if you've done a lot of really great things, your base is 1. You want to roll above a 1, and if you roll above a 1, you get light side points. If you're the doubler, you get double the light side points. If you've done bad things or used the force in a bad way, your target number is higher. So you could your target number could be 9, so if you roll under a 9, you get dark side points. We had a session where we saved hundreds of people. We kept a ship from crashing into Coruscant. I got 1 point. 1 point. 1. Now, my character usually rolls badly on these things because I'm close to the dark side, even though my character always says good things. Right? So, last session, we saved a ship full of slaves. We went to Kessel, which is why we're now doing the Kessel run.
Right.
Got people out of a mine, destroyed part of the Pike's spice operation. We rolled at the end. I am now a net 0 for saving hundreds of people, including these slaves, and messing with the Pike's drug operation because I rolled
a 1.
I rolled 1 again. So in this case I got and the target was 2, so I got negative 1 point. So I am at net 0 for doing great things. So I was very happy.
Great Jedi. That's what I hear. Great Jedi.
I'm gonna cut you. You know how I feel about those. They don't, and I'm sure that's why Mike's doing it to me because I hate Great Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, also not a Jedi. But yeah, so I was really excited though that we actually succeeded in the Kessel Run because RNG in that particular game hates me with a passion. So that's McCullough's RNG rant, but I made the Kessel Run, so it doesn't effing matter. All right, so now that I've gone into a 6-minute rant about RNG and Roll20 in the Star Wars RPG, we're gonna dig into Destiny 2 shortly, but evidently haven't heard ourselves talking enough, so we're gonna get into this week's news.
AIE News.
1 second, I had to admonish somebody for making a short joke. Okay, we have community news. First off is our mandatory fun night, where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. Be aware, we have a change of schedule with STO. All right, in Sunday, WoW Classic, 2 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Guild Wars 2, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, SOTOR, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, hey, Destiny 2, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, STO, 11 p.m. Eastern. Friday, ESO, 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday, Final Fantasy 14, Magical Mystery Miscellaneous Tour, 9 p.m. Eastern. My brain. Saturday, LOTROR, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, Maps Night in Final Fantasy 14, 9:30 Eastern. And of course, we wrap up your mandatory fun night week. Saturday, Noob Raid in WoW at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. And in Streaming Guild podcast news, I just want to point out we'll have a list in the show notes of all the AIE member podcasts here. But since we do have one Marcus on from Working Class Nerds, Marcus, what have you been up to on Working Class Nerds lately?
Oh my God. Really, the show has become, really like having multiple guests on talking about whether they're content creators, just gamers themselves, devs, whoever. And I'm trying to think the last episode, which is not out. We just did a big Lightfall preview. which hopefully Nick is editing it right now. The show is not safe for work. You're hearing it from me. I say before every single show, this is going to be the show where I don't swear, and everybody says, Marcus, if you don't swear, we'll pay. Yeah, exactly. We'll do a giveaway on your stream. They say it all the time because they know I can't.
Absolutely. I'm the same way.
We're right now currently we're slated to go to PAX East at actually a month from now. We did for the first time, we got approved for media passes.
Nice.
So we're going and we're going to do the full media thing, which is great. We've actually been booking appointments, and hopefully this is going to be the turning point where we get some more devs on to talk more gaming.
That'd be amazing. Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
So you're going to be hanging with Corley and Max as well, huh?
Yeah, hopefully we're going to do a meetup on the Friday night. So if you're in the Boston area, whether you're going to PAX East or not, just pay attention to the AIE Discord. Because
I really like the Boston area. Huh.
It's awesome, but it's been really weird because yesterday was the first time we've gotten snow all winter. It's been like 40 and 50 degrees all winter.
Wow.
I think some days it probably gets colder in Austin than it's gotten here.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's awesome though. That's huge.
And can I just one more shout out to a podcast?
Yeah, please.
Dr. Gameology's podcast, The Gaming Persona. He's one of my closest friends, but everybody, please give that show a listen. Trust me, the topics that they talk about and how they get in depth into some of this, like the psychology of gaming, I don't understand that side of the world. So when he does it, it just blows my mind, some of the things that happen and why it happens.
He's a scarily smart guy. We've had him on the show, and I love how he combines his profession with his passion. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so with that, we'll go into Nomad's news. First, we have New World that continues to be a little quiet for AIE, but the dev team for the game is working hard to bring on the strong foundation, build on the strong foundation they started with. They've published a 2023 dev roadmap that includes season story updates, because everyone does seasons now.
Yep.
And apparently there's an expansion for the fall, which is targeted to include mounts. Everybody loves mounts.
And there's a lot of mounts in this week's news.
Yep.
Which it's definitely a long-awaited feature. That's actually one of the reasons why Genshin Impact is a game I like to play, but there's also a competitor called Tower of Fantasy, which is more MMO style, but it has mounts. Means you can get to places faster instead of running everywhere. So, yeah, mounts are the way to go. Keep an eye out. Maybe we can get some AIE excursions later this year when all this stuff comes out. And then over in Diablo 3 news, the new Season 28, Rites of Sanctuary, is live. The season features the Altar of Rites that grants account-wide perks for your seasonal characters, such as reducing all level requirements for gear to level 1, double bounty cash rewards, etc. And from what I hear, they're essentially borrowing from Diablo 4 and throwing that into Diablo 3 to kind of give you a little bit of taste with this season, kind of like whetting the appetite, getting you ready.
Mm-hmm.
Then over in Diablo 4, the open beta starts in a few weeks if you have it pre-ordered. March 17th to 19th for pre-orders, and the following weekend, the 24th to 26th, for everybody if you want to give it a try. We have a link in the show notes if you're curious.
Can I give you a cheat code? I'm going to give you guys a cheat code. If you want to get in the open beta, usually there's Amazon will sell you the copy of Diablo, and they'll send you the beta key via email, and then you just cancel the pre-order, but you still get the beta key.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Cheats
A literal
hacks.
cheat
Yeah.
code.
That's what we used to do for Call of Duty.
The two betas, they aren't going to wipe the first beta. So if you're in the pre-order beta, that's going to copy over to the second beta, your progress, so you can continue from there, because they want two different levels of, like, all the people that got into the pre-order beta can now progress and do the rest of the content. All the people that are getting into the open beta can do the first content. So,
Awesome.
Yep. I'm sure there'll be lots of carries.
Mm-hmm.
But looks like a lot of nomads will be dabbling, be sure to check out the Nomads channel. If there's something you'd like to get going, put the call out and you can see who is interested. The recent adventures included a few people surviving in Rust, a new Nomansky expedition, and a start in Kerbal Early Access.
Yes, this is
on
for
the
Kerbal 2.
horizons. Kerbal 2, yeah, I saw that. On the horizon is Coreborn Alpha, which was that one you were talking about, Tets? Coreborn?
Yeah, that's the one from Behind the Games podcast that Max and Seema were talking about. There's a closed beta that you'll be able to stream if you get in coming up in March as well.
And of course, Wild Hearts just came out, and there's also a possible Sons of the Forest hosted server. I've seen that popping up a few places too.
Ooh.
All right. And in WoW news, congrats to Kitty Aggro for their ahead of the curve achievement for downing the final Razageth in Vaults of the Incarnate on Heroic. Awesome
Nice job,
work, folks. Woohoo! And New Braid has now defeated 2 bosses on normal. Thanks for everyone for joining the Saturday Night Guild event, and a big shout out to the floor tank herself and the one that walks off cliffs, Dankenia, for leading it. And in WoW Classic, Classic continues to roll along with Oldor up and tournament grounds being built. Dailies for TOC are around and things are cooking. No word on the next phase yet, but what happens, AIE will be ready. Aaliyah's Wrath, Stale Puff Marshmallow continues progression through Alduar with Thorum hard mode down, and they're so close to Hodir hard mode last week, hoping for success this week on Hodir. They've killed 12 of 14 and started progression on Yogg last week. They periodically run Nax on Wednesday nights to fill in slots and gear to help with that progression.
In SWOTOR news, BioWare awarded a special mount to anyone that logged into the test server and ran a PvP match. Stask and Machete marshaled, or we said cat herded, a group of guildies to get that done. Everyone's mounts should appear in the mail when 7.2.1 launches. If anyone who wants to continue their PvP journey, talk to either of them about their Wednesday night PvP shenanigans. Also, make sure to never have pistachio ice cream in your guild kitchen. It is the grossest thing ever.
No, do not mess with our show notes. I believe it says to have pistachio ice cream in the guild kitchen because it is Marcus's favorite.
Pistachio. Ugh.
Thank you. You know, Nick says it perfectly. We ask everybody that comes on the show what's their favorite ice cream. And we've had 2 people tell us pistachio, and we just said, look, it's okay to be a psychopath because that is just not okay. Like
it's just, that's the flavor that doesn't work. Maybe if you add it to like another flavor, but as the flavor, no.
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
All right. And in ESO news. Yeah. Cool things the guild has been doing. They have been working on clearing the trials that don't have mechanics that force them to have a full 12 people. They've currently got 3 that they can routinely complete. Upcoming for the guild, Tale of Tributes Tournament 2 has concluded, but there are plans for Tales of Tournament 3 to take place in mid-June with a prize pool of over 7 million gold. Too bad that doesn't convert into real money. Accurate.
If only.
And in game news, the next chapter of the game, which is called Necrom, was announced. It brings in 2 new regions, new companions, and a new class called the Arcanist. Pre-orders on the chapter are available now. That's looking really good. The Arcanist is, let's just say, it goes right hand in hand with Diablo 4.
And then become a summoner and a scholar later on, or is it just?
I don't know. They're more like a necromancer, honestly.
So bad
Anarchist.
romance about it.
Anarchist, like I kept calling Arcanist for a long time.
I
Anarchist.
can see how you would do that. That's easy to see incorrectly.
Yep.
Speaking of anarchists and arcanists and summoners and scholars, Final Fantasy XIV is still doing map nights on Saturdays and weekly events that change every week at 9 p.m. on Fridays, hosted by Sasha. So if you are still if you're not quite on maintenance mode like I am and want to get some fun stuff going on, jump in. Yeah. Map nights are still very lucrative. You will get all kinds of money just by doing it. You get money, but then you get items that you can sell, and yeah, it's just highly recommended.
And I
Awesome.
don't
Oh.
think they've finally hit they haven't got the third, because there are 3 bosses on the new map roulette, and one of them I think is silver. I'm trying to remember. There's one boss they haven't got down yet. Brandon, OMF, Rowe, and Megan were discussing it on their podcast, and yeah, there's like 3 different bosses that you can defeat, and one of them they haven't got down yet. So,
All right. STO news. The Federation fleet has made a big steps towards the final project, Tier 5 for renewable energy for the colony. It has 5 days left. But to complete, they'll be able to work on the overall colony's final Tier 5 upgrade. Also, something to note is that once the renewable energy project completes, they'll have access to the best tactical console in the game for tank builds.
nice.
The KDF, that's awesome. The KDF fleet is also making big strides as well, with just over 3 days, and the final project for the development branch of the lithium mine will be completed. This will unlock the maximum discounts for fleet project marks, which will then in turn help with other projects. They have one more big project to complete at the lithium mine, and the holding will then be completely done. The KDF fleet is actually not that far from the Tier 3 starbase as well. They've been busy, holy crud.
Yep.
They also have an influx of new KDF captains with the recruit event going on in STO, which if you're wanting to create a Klingon recruit, you have until March 9th. So just about a week. Yep, 2 weeks. Yeah, about so. You only have to create the captain and get maybe 5 to 10 minutes into the tutorial to get the encrypted Klingon receiver device. Once you have the device, you have as much time to complete the goals and the device asks you to do. So you could be a diehard and do it all in a weekend or more, like Gribog, and still be working on it over a year later. Fun nights are now on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Come join the crazy antics. They run missions, TFOs, and sometimes Gribog comes up with a silly thing to have fun with. By the way, Fleet Action Report 138 will be this Monday. This will be a bit of a different episode, as the host will discuss various things that brought them to STO, to why they continue playing all these years later, and so much more.
All right. And yeah, it's interesting. I know from a game mechanic, you're talking the holy trinity of tank, healer, DPS, but trying to think of a starship as a tank.
Yeah.
And
no,
then,
I totally see it.
No, I get it now, but it took me back for a moment. I'm like, why would you have a tank in Starfleet? And then I'm like, oh, it's more like a battleship compared to the aircraft carrier, compared to the destroyer. Yeah, okay.
You got the Titan that comes in with its overpowered shields and extra armor on the hull, and it takes all the big fire because it's going to be hitting the hardest, and then that lets all your healer ships stay behind it, and you got all your DPS pew-pewing from afar. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, in Guild Wars 2, Dungeons and More on the second Friday. MFN is weekly. And in Lotro news, Update 35 is still on the PTS. That means they're getting closer to the new update going live. Spring Festival starts March 9th and runs through March 27th. Time to dust off the map of the maze and get ready for some fence walking.
Awesome. All right. And after all of that news, hey, Marcus, what's going on in Destiny 2?
Not too much. It's just been one crazy. It's just been one crazy year, and there's a giant expansion coming on Tuesday. But
wow.
I never thought that a first-person shooter, and I know they're gonna say it's a looter shooter. I call it an MMO, whatever, would be as good as this game is. It's fast-paced. It's action-packed. So last year in February, we got the Witch Queen expansion, which Savathun has been spoken about, and she was playing her tricks for 10 years throughout the game, and nobody ever really knew who she was. And then it kind of culminated, and you thought that she was the big bad, we'll call it. Mm-hmm. And we were all tricked. And just to come to find out that she actually deceived the big bad, and his name is the Witness, and he controls this giant pyramid fleet. And we've been going through and fighting his minions and watching this story build through the seasons this year, because as Tet said, all the games are doing seasons now.
Right.
I think Destiny might have been one of the first to do this seasonal content, but they release 4 seasons a year, and basically it's just a new grind like anything else, or as Mew and Tet call it, it's just new chores.
Right.
Yep.
You log in, you do your chores, and you get out. But
Move on to the next one.
To me,
Yes.
It sounds to me like it might be a pyramid scheme.
Ah.
Sorry, I apologize. I apologize.
Nope, that's
Ah.
good.
no, don't ever. Dad jokes are welcome here.
I was gonna say,
I mean,
the non-dad here made the dad joke.
yes, we have a database. It's for the dad jokes. That's why we
Okay,
have it.
throw that in there.
Yes. So the way Destiny does their seasonal content is, so for the first like 10 weeks of the season of the not like the 3-month span, there's every week you get a new mission and a piece of story. So it keeps you logging in every week. So because like when the expansion comes out, I'm going to be live all day long playing the whole thing, trying to finish the campaign in one day. But that's to get ready for a raid that happens 10 days later. But at the same time, that's what I like about the weekly stories for the season, because it gives you that extra piece of interesting, and it builds to something greater. I personally like that model because it keeps you logging in, keeps you doing stuff, and every season your gear score goes up 10 points. So it just gives you a new chores. Do your chores, you get better gear, and you move on. That's a little bit of the difference between Destiny and like WoW or SWTOR, where if you do a harder raid, you get better gear. This is just, there's a max gear score, and as long as you grind, you'll make it to it. Mm-hmm. And then you earn seasonal level ranks one at a time. Every time you hit a tier, you level up there, and that is endless, but it's hard to get way up there unless you play a ton.
Right.
So with that, we killed the Witch Queen, and there was these clips in some of the missions called Truth and Lies. And she said there's going to be 3 truths and 3 lies. And she would give you a list of things, and you've been deciphering these throughout the year. And some of them have come true and some of them haven't. Mm-hmm. Then there's a big bad called Callus, who we've been chasing since vanilla Destiny. And he has now become a disciple of the Witness, the big bad.
Right.
And they're invading the planet Neptune. And there's some secret mystical something there that everybody wants to get to. And now, if you watch the cutscene, the official Lightfall trailer, you see that the Witness is in our solar system, because this game is based in our actual solar system, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that
like
is.
one of the raid's ships are in the rings of Saturn. So when you're landing on his ship, you're landing into the rings of Saturn.
Okay, so Neptune referring to is actually Neptune and not.
Yeah,
surprising. I didn't think there was anything in there that you wanted. Like, it wasn't all just like gas, and like you go too far deep and you just get crushed. So
well, it's like
who knows?
I'm going to the mindset that it's kind of how like Wakanda hides their city,
right?
Yeah,
the cloaking technology. I don't know. That's the mystical stuff, or maybe it's the Matrix, and I'm gonna find what was that agent's name? Mr. Anderson. Yes, We're gonna find Agent Smith throughout all this. So we're going in right as the last season just ended. So think of like wars, like satellites that are floating around the planet Earth. They're called warsats, and they have like mega nuclear bombs. And they decided to make an AI to be able to control these nuclear bombs and satellites. Doesn't sound like it's a good idea and easily corrupted, right? Well, there was this one character named Anna, and she taught this AI compassion and all this, and she essentially saved the human race. But in order to save humanity, before Lightfall, we had to destroy the warsats, which are these giant satellites, and the AI, which could have really helped us protect Earth. And so, of course, they're turning the key to turn them on, and we save the day. And that's basically how the story has left us for Tuesday.
Oh my goodness, that's
the
devastating.
Game, yes, the game goes. I'm going to call it dead, silent for 24 hours tomorrow at 12 noon, and then the game gets turned back on at noon the next day. Which, between me and you, now I'm not a game dev. I'm not a game dev. I don't understand how it works. But honestly, I kind of like that model because how many times has BioWare taken the game off for a game update? Oh, we're going to be live in 3 hours. But then it ends up being a 15-hour patch.
Yeah.
Just shut the game down for 24 hours. Like,
give them as much time as they need.
Let them get all that stuff figured out.
Because I look at it as, if you tell everybody, hey, the game's going to be shut down for 24 hours, you can work through all the crap, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Before then, and then hopefully by the time it launches, it goes well.
Yeah.
But again,
well,
I'm not...
somebody in the upper management is like, those hours offline is just costing us money. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's money.
And it's costing your players frustration because they've been waiting impatiently to play whatever the newest, greatest thing you've created, and now it's taking forever to get to the game, and there's all these crashes and there's all these issues to be worked out. I agree. Bring it down for 24 hours and test stuff out.
Yeah. Yep.
So the game's going to be silent, which is kind of, I personally like it because you guys know that if the game is on, people are going to be grinding all of those last things that they need to get done.
Absolutely.
And this is kind of like the calm before the storm. Like, hey, there's no game for you to play. Go play something else or go sit on the couch and put your feet up.
Go sleep for 24 hours.
It's the night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, go sleep for 24 hours. Then you can stay up for 72 hours straight, getting everything done,
Yep.
Hadavari says Mew needs sleep badly.
Boys.
Does.
So then coming March 10th, which is exactly 10 days from Tuesday, right? 10 days? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They released their new raid, and this is something that I've never experienced before because every raid we've ever done, you can go into a hard mode or nightmare raid in SWTOR, World of Warcraft, and it takes weeks to beat this boss. And at some point, Bungie said, hey, we're going to give them 24 hours to figure this out. And if they're the first team that does it, we're going to give them raid belts, like WWF championship belts.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
So it's called the Great Raid Race. Mm-hmm. And so everybody goes live at 12 noon Eastern on March 10th, who's going in worldwide. And they go to beat this raid. And last year we went in, we were later, but just being a part of the excitement, we got through the first encounter and we did it for 5 hours, I think. And being a part of that is wild because, the pressure's on. They put contest mode on where you're 25 light levels under all the enemies.
Right.
Instantly.
So they basically cap you.
Right. And you can be one shot very easily. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what guns are going to work, like what the meta is going to be to kill these bosses. So you have to work through that. You have to figure out the mechanics. But for me, I like to chill. You guys know what I'm saying. You get into a new boss fight. Okay, we're going into a hard mode Isaacs. Okay, this is the mechanic. Okay, let's learn that. Next week, we're going to work on the next part. This is like, hey, no, we got to go, right. And you can't quit.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different speed, but they also make it so that it's beatable, I guess. There's only been one raid that hasn't been cleared in 24 hours ever. But this year they're doing something different. They're releasing the raid on a Friday where they used to do it on Saturdays, but instead of, because if there's problems, they don't want their employees having to work all weekend.
Sure.
Which I respect, but
Yeah,
what I think is pretty cool is, so instead of 24 hours, they're giving you 48 hours to clear it.
Oh, nice.
And then you get the special seal and all that stuff. But obviously the first team to clear the whole thing gets the championship belt. And if you Google Destiny raid belts, you'll actually see they're like real raid belts. Mm-hmm. But if you beat it in day one, everything about Destiny is about the emblem that your name sits on. Mm-hmm. And there's some really cool emblems. And the only way to get this emblem is to clear this raid during the contest mode. And it's some of the things they do for these raids. It's crazy. Where I fail is the jumping puzzles. I'm terrible at jumping. Mm-hmm. I thought, new game. They're giving me rocket boots.
Nope.
So I can go anywhere I want. I'm just as bad as I am in Star Wars. I cannot jump for the life of me to get the Datacrons. I cannot jump for the life of me in Destiny. So this Tuesday, we're not doing a clan night out of respect to Lightfall. We want everybody to get in, enjoy it. If you're going to test yourself, they release on day one 2 versions of the campaign. They have their standard issue story where you can go in, enjoy the story. It's still going to be a challenge, but it's going to be a normal gaming story, I guess I should say. Or if you feel hardcore, you do the legendary version. And if you complete the legendary version, you're going to have a set of gear. You're going to be at the power cap for gear right at the end of that. You'll have enough gear. They're going to reward you that gear. So then you're already ahead of everybody else. And you only have to grind 10 more levels to be max level, so the risk is there to do it on a hard mode to start, but the reward is there at the end.
Yeah, exactly. It pays off.
Yeah.
No risk it, no biscuit.
Absolutely.
Right. So we're, like I said, this coming Tuesday, the 28th, we are not doing clan night. What we're doing is we'll do that, and we'll be back the following week for clan night. If you're new, please join us. There's plenty to do. There's so many people that are willing to help get you started, whether you're a beginner, which is called a new light, or you've played and you're coming back. There's always people willing to go. Veneros in chat is always willing to run the missions on Legendary with you because he's a professional at it, and he'll gladly help you go through and do that. We have other people that are great at PvP, and we'll teach you that. I think Duff's in chat. He's great at PvP. Everybody is so willing to help everybody succeed. And so come on Tuesdays.
Awesome.
Good.
I can't wait.
Venturi says it's not a power cap gear, only 20 levels ahead, still 30 levels, but yes.
Oh, all right. So you still, but you're still ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Through the grind.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely.
I cannot wait.
That sounds like a great time.
No,
yeah,
it sounds
love all
epic.
the beauty stuff, and that's fabulous. All right.
So make sure you find Veneros and ask him specifically to help you, because apparently he loves that.
Yes, he does.
Right. Well, I think that is about our show for tonight. While the chat room continues to suggest titles, Marcus, thank you for joining us, my friend, and thank you for keeping it fairly safe for work and kids.
Always.
Actually, I think I was the one that dropped an F. I was the one that cursed,
you dropped an S-bomb, yes.
Oh, wow. What a surprise.
I put it on Nick. Nick pulls it out of me.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I can be completely calm. There's only 2 times I really lose it. I cannot play Call of Duty. If you're with me in Call of Duty, just know that I am I'm a different person.
Right.
I'm not Marcus when I play that game. I turn into like Bizarro Marcus.
Yeah, but that's PvP though. PvP does it to everybody.
Oh my god, I used to throw my friggin' mouse across the room with PvP, and then especially trying to do like the Children's Week stuff. Literally, at one point, like, Cat, you do this. I'm going to actually kill somebody. So I get you. I get you completely. Awesome. All right. Well, my friend, where can we find you, social media wise, and in general? Where are you?
Exclamation point WCN. Oh no, that's my channel. You can just Google Working Class Nerds. The show's everywhere. You can listen to a podcast.
That's a great name.
Occasionally, we do a live show, which would be hosted on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/MarcusB814. The 814 is the month in the year I got married.
Oh, that's sweet. So that is the day before my birthday.
It's 2 days before my wife's.
Oh, hey, August is very important.
Yes.
You have a lot of Leo.
We were on our honeymoon in Disney, and she's like, it's going to be really special. We're on our honeymoon, and it's my birthday. Yep.
Okay, so oddly enough, Ted and I spent the first part of our honeymoon at Disney.
So did we.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh my God! Everybody, all right,
That's the
everyone on
best.
this, every Disney Lord on this channel, say hi. Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, who doesn't love Disney?
Right?
I mean, they're out there. A lot of people don't, but I am not one of them, nor have I ever been.
Like a little kid.
Oh,
You
it's
put me in there.
ridiculous.
I don't wear the ears.
Well,
I'm not
okay.
I don't do the ears.
I
dress
have no
up.
problem. I've been programmed by Disney. I worked at Disney, so it's not hard.
I Disney bound as a hobby. So
Yep.
and we're going in April, and I'm working everyone's outfits.
Yep.
How far is the drive for you guys to Disney?
5
Disneyland
hours.
is 6 hours. The way Tet drives, 5 hours away I drive.
Yep.
Yeah, that was close.
All
That's
right.
great.
Awesome.
Well-
All right. Well,
If you have a question or comment about the show, you can email us at podcast.aieguild.org@gmail.com. Yeah, I know it's convoluted, but mail trouble.
It's
What are you
okay.
going to do?
here we are.
You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast while Twitter's still around. Mew is at the Mew Cow. McCullough is at Cyberwave. I am at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org, and look for the link on our Discord server in the same location. And for past episodes, you can see them on our YouTube channel. Just look for the AIE Podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And if we had any segments, we'd play them right about here. So if you have any segments to send in, please let us know. Send it to the above mentioned web email, and we will be happy to add them at the end.
Excellent. All right. And next time, for the 400th episode, holy crud, we're going to be talking to Gusty Tail about AIE in WoW. So until then, AIE,
This is Marcus.
this is Makala,
This is Tetsemi.
This is Bucow.
and this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
We actually did a thing. All right.
And hey, thank goodness my Spelljammer game got canceled for tonight.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yes, which is
Sema.
good. Which is good.
Pistachio
Thank you.
ice cream for
Pistachio.
everyone.
Oh my
No,
God.
thank you. Why would you do that to us?
I can see her laughing so hard as she's drinking her glass of wine. Slurp.
That's why I love her.
Yep. Cool. You're nuts.
So
All
we've
right.
got some titles, looks like.
Yep. Bottom of the notes, Marcus, if you want to pick a show title, because the chat
Looking.
room is brilliant.
We got Analyst, Arcanists, Summoners, Scholars, and Psychopaths. Or Trust the Witness.
I kind of like that. Trust the witness.
We also have new chores. Jokes are welcome. Truth and lies. Go sit on the couch.
I like go sit on the couch too.
All right. Here we go.
Trust the Witness, go sit on the couch.
Trust the witness. Go sit on the couch. There we go. We'll just combine them.
Awesome.
All
That was
right.
a
All
great time. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Yep. All right. Thank you, chat room. As always, I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream. We will see you in
See you guys in
2
the stream.
weeks.